So now we're in Dorothy Day Student Union, and it is really as it sounds, a student union. It's the student hub of campus where all the activities take place. There's always students walking in and out of here between classes. Usually around 3 p.m. is when it gets hectic in here with club meetings and activities and fun things to do. But there's also some other stuff on this side of the building as well. So I'm going to start with the Wellness Center back there. So back in this hallway, the Wellness Center, it's free of students. They can go in if they have a stuffy nose, they need some decongestant, so ibuprofen, something, anything. They can go. There's a doctor that appears sometimes during the week. They're usually there for an hour or so each morning, but then there are actual nurse practitioners in there too who can write prescriptions, give vitamin C droplets, anything a student needs to feel better. They can give students notes for class as well in case they miss class. They can get an excused absence to give to their professor. Also with the Wellness Center is the PACE Center. So it's peers, advising, counseling, and educating. Sometimes students get a little intimidated talking to an adult or a staff member about their problems, but they can actually talk to a professionally trained peer or another DSU student about their problems. That way they can just talk things out and really kind of make sure they're staying healthy mentally and physically. Also back there is the mailroom. So as you can see right next to me here, every student on campus, whether you're a commuter or a resident, will get a mailbox. You get the combo. It's found online. Any letters or envelopes that fit into the mailbox are slipped right in there. If a student were to order books off of Amazon or parents want to send a care package from home, what happens is they get a little parcel note, they take it to the mailroom, show their student ID, and Steve or Margaret or any of the student workers in there, very friendly, they will help them out and make sure they get their assigned package. And then the last lounge in here is actually the Residence Life Lounge. So that's where all the RAs or resident advisors kind of have their offices. And it's really a good place for RAs to hang out, have their staff meetings, as well as students to go in just in case they have an issue or a question about housing or a roommate issue or anything like that. Kind of moving further down the hall here, there's some more mailboxes. Up the ramp and to the left are more staff member offices. And in the back here, they actually have a Center for Service and Social Justice suite, or we call it CSSJ. So they do tutoring to local elementary school students. They do service trips over spring break. They do service trips kind of very locally, domestically, abroad as well over the summer. And merged with them is actually the Character U Center now. So Character U is basically, it starts with orientation. Your first 3 days on campus, it's all brand new students. You're not intimidated by the fact that you come onto campus and you have to go to class with seniors or juniors. You get to acclimate it. You learn how to use your meal plan. You make friends. You go to fun events. You do field day events. You go to keynote speakers. It's a very awesome program. That's actually, to be honest with you, my 4 friends who I know from DeSales, very good guy friends. I know we're going to be in each other's weddings. I know we're going to be lifelong friends. I met them my first night of orientation, and we've still talked. We still have a group chat. We still talk every single day. So it's a very good, definitely a very good program for students here. The students compete for what is called the Dog Bowl. So that's where all the kind of the talent show points and the field day activities points go. Also, the last thing I want to point out is that the campus ministry offices are in here as well. So there's Maggie Riggins, who is basically our director of campus ministry, and our university chaplain, Father Dan Lannon, is in here too for any students who may need some spiritual needs as well. And then kind of walking down the hallway here, we're going to get more into about student activities. So just on this wall here is the campus activities board calendar. That's what I was involved with here when I was at DeSales. It was kind of, a real passion of mine, just making sure that students had something to do. Again, we don't want students coming to campus and then not making friends or going home on the weekends. We want you to come and stay and just make campus lively. So as you can see, there's barely a blank space on this calendar. They have staple events like bingo and quizzo every single month. Every single week they do Zumba, yoga, ice skating for $1. There's free massages some days. And their big event in the fall or in the spring is actually Family Feud. And then going into the fall, their big event is DeSales Got Talent, where usually we get between 300 and 400 students to come out and kind of support their classmates showing off their talent on stage. And walking down, we're actually going to see the students' clubs and organizations wall. So Campus Activities Board is just one activity and one example of an activity that you can get involved with on campus. But here you can see all the different contacts for the different organizations. Some have to do with majors, such as SNA or Student Nurses Association or Criminal Justice Association, but then some have nothing to do with majors. So Love Your Melon is actually a campus student org. What they do is they sell hats and scarves, and the money raised goes to research for pediatric cancer. There's also the Cops and Kids of DeSales. There's, you name it, there's a club for it. You are going to get involved while you're here on campus. Kind of walking further down here, we're going to go into what's called the Centaur Lounge. So a little bit of history here. Our name changed from Allentown College of St. Francis DeSales to DeSales University officially in 2001. So it was voted for the name change in 2000. 2001 is when it was implemented. So we kind of did a little ode to the Centaurs here. We used to be called the Allentown College Centaurs. So we did a little ode to them. The Centaur Lounge is here. This was not here last year, as of my senior year. What they did is they knocked the wall out and they put all this in. So there's more computers for students. There's a printer here. They also updated the second fitness center on campus. So this isn't the only gym on campus. It's very nice to have a gym that's 24/7 on campus going for it. There's free weights in there. There's mats. There's exercise balls, a rowing machine, a lot of cardio equipment, treadmills. It's a good place for students to go in between classes if they want to study and walk on the treadmill, or if they just kind of want to get a workout in before dinner or anything like that. Or maybe they're just up in the middle of the night stressed. They want to kind of de-stress a little bit and sweat it out. They can come and walk on the treadmill whatever time they please. Also down this hallway here, at the end of the hallway, is the esports arena. So esports is a varsity sport here on campus. It's an awesome arena. They supply the chairs, the desktop, the keyboards, everything the students need who are on the team. Also down there are the student engagement and leadership offices. So there's Tracy Gallagher, Nick Lechko, Andrew Garino, and then the CAB office. So Campus Activities Board that I talked about on the calendar, they have an office here. It's where students pay for events, where they sign up for events. It's usually filled with students who are just hanging out, talking, having a good time, laughing. Also, they do a lot of fun kind of giveaway days where, during the day, maybe at noon, they do Wing Wednesday, and here they'll have a line as long as the building giving out free wings, or whether it's National Cookie Day, something like that. They will have always something going on in here. You'll definitely see students in here studying, laughing, hanging out, whatever the case may be. So now we're kind of going to do a U-turn here, and we're going to pass Sandella's right here. I will tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. But here's Frank Leo's office. He's in the International Learning Department. He's the International Learning Advisor, so we do have study abroad programs on campus. We have a couple different locations where you can go for the entire semester. We have ones where you can go over the summer, spring break. So that is available to you. And then if you were to look in here, this is the Dorothy Day Commons. So this is where a lot of those Campus Activities Board events take place. DeSales Got Talent will be in here, Family Feud will be in here, Bingo, Quizzo. They do Pet a Puppy as well, so if you're stressed during midterms week, they'll bring puppies in here and they kind of run around and you can pet them. And again, this is open all the time for students, so they can come in, play pool. There's a ping pong table in the closet as well. You can rent a basketball, you can rent a Frisbee, you can rent a Wii, PS4, Xbox, anything you really need, anything you want to do to have fun in here, you can have access to it. And then walking out front of Sandella's. Sandella's is one of 4 eateries on campus. So we already talked about Skylight and Dueling. Now Sandella's is the latest open on campus. It is open until 1 a.m. every single day. So if you want a midnight snack after you get done at the library, you can certainly come in here. You can use your meals in here. You can use Flex. We'll talk a little bit more about the meal plan when we get to the Duck or DeSales University Center. Or you can use cash, kind of anything that you need to do to pay. Now the really cool thing about Sandella's is that yes, you can get food here. It's kind of a Panera Bread style where you can get flatbreads, you can get paninis, rice bowls, things like that, salads. But it's also a convenience store in there too. So say at 8 p.m. you need to get shampoo and you don't want to run off campus to go to Target or something to get shampoo. You can come in here and use your Flex on your ID to get shampoo, toothpaste, really anything you need for your dorm room, toiletry-wise, you can get in here as well. It's really a one-stop shop. So now walking, we're actually going to go out front of the building. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about upperclassmen housing. So housing is guaranteed as long as you're a DeSales student. You will have housing all 4 years if you want it. I'm going to talk about the upperclassmen housing, and then we're going to hit the freshman housing commune hall.